the lockdown is extended, so we have at least another 4 more weeks with you here for free, relaxing Yin Yoga to unwind your mind and your body during a stressful time. So, and I also want to know, what do you want? I know last week I did sleep, like yoga for sleep, and I noticed that when I put it on my YouTube, I got more views with yoga for sleep right away than the video that I did the week before. So I'm guessing it's tailored towards what you want. So please let me know, what do you want? I want to be helpful to you. And this, I just love teaching, and I need to. So it's part of my self-care plan, and I'm helping you with your self-care plan. So by now you probably have your props. Let's start off. You know what? Let's start relaxing on your back. So I'm going to relax this way. Bring your 2 soles of the feet together and then open up the knees. So soles of the feet together, arms, palms up, and let's bring the arms in cactus, bent at 90-degree angles at the level of the shoulders. So right now your hips are probably really feeling gravity pushing on it. So if you notice everything's relaxed and there is an uncomfortable amount of sensation in your hips, then just like Zach, put a block or pillow or blanket or stuffed animal underneath your knees. Then arrive at your mat. Feel free to close your eyes if that helps you tune in to the internal sensations. And just notice how your body naturally breathes. As you're breathing in and out of your nose, notice how your belly rises on the inhale, and then the gentle fall on the exhale. Inhale, bringing in your intention of presence, peace, and calm. And on the exhale, relax even more. Scan your body. Allow your muscles to soften and relax and ungrip from the bone. Today's class we're going to focus on the hips, which gives you the biggest bang for your buck when you're doing a shorter class, because the hips get really tight. They function. When they are more flexible, you feel more ease and freedom in your body. It's easier to get up from seated. It helps with pain in other joints in your body to keep your hips open. And then energetically and emotionally, working your hips gives you an opportunity for any emotions that are lodged in the hips, for them to come up. If they're coming up, then it wants to come out. Begin to deepen your breath now. Send the air all the way down. So breathing in through your nose, send the air all the way down to your belly. Expanding the belly in all directions. Filling up your lungs, expanding your ribs, all the way up to your collarbone. Slight pause, and then exhaling out of the collarbone. Contract the ribs, contract the belly. Belly button to the back of the spine. 100% of carbon dioxide flows out. So when you breathe in, you can bring as much oxygen, nourishment as you can, filling up the lungs from bottom to the top, and then exhaling the air from top to bottom. Now apply a slight constriction at the back of the throat for ocean breathing. It's like fogging up a window, but your mouth is closed. A breathy breath, you sound like the ocean. Allow the ocean to soothe you. The ocean also releases more toxins. Scan your body now and notice the sensation in your hips. If it's increased and it's become uncomfortable, you may even notice that the muscles around the hips have started to grip the bone. If that is the case, then it's increased enough for you to put blocks or some props underneath your knees or in your hip area to support you, to anchor you at the perfect depth. Always working towards your perfect depth today. Last week, maybe you went farther into a pose, but maybe this week, whatever's going on in the body and in the mind, you're less flexible, and that's okay. Our mobility changes from day to night, from day to day. We are working on being patient with the body and allowing it to open when it's right for it to open, but also with the mind. Acceptance and patience of the mind to allow it to open, and acceptance of where you are now, your level of mobility right now. We're also accepting the body shape. We're accepting ourselves on a grand level as well. Every time you accept your mobility, your shape, and any posture in this present moment, you are building that self-acceptance and that self-love within yourself to release you from any limitation that your mind is putting upon you. So yes, with this nice hippie class, it'll be easier to get in and out of cars, but also it'll be easier to walk through life with a greater level of acceptance of your present experience. On your next exhale, bring your hands underneath your knees and press your knees together. Woo! So that was probably enough for long enough, because I can really feel it, and I need to work that out in a counter pose. So feet wider than hip distance, just swish the knees side to side and work that out. Now hug your knees into your chest. It's a nice exhale, nice squeeze. And then grab the outer edges of your feet for happy baby pose. So grabbing outer edges of the feet, knees in a 90-degree angle. If the outer edges aren't accessible, inner edges, no problem. Or grab your ankles. Or, I know you have your fancy block here, mister. Or your fancy strap. I'll show you what it looks like with a strap. Right? That's why we have props here. You don't need to force your body into anything. So you can hold it wherever you are. So knees, you're trying to get in towards your armpits. Soles of the feet are facing the sky. Now let me time this for you. Long inhales and exhales. So relax your spine and allow your spine to round up. Tailbone might round up and point up to the ceiling. Only use the strength of your arms to apply the pressure for the hips and the inner legs and groin. So pulling your knees closer towards each side beside the arm, towards the armpits, but your thigh bones are clearing the rib cage and the knees are going towards the floor. Relax your spine, soften your neck. Close your eyes if that feels blissful. Maybe a little smile tells your brain that things are all right. Brings a little contentment, a little happiness into the experience with a half smile. It's actually a half smile. It's one of the techniques, so when I'm helping somebody release certain emotions, for instance like anger, is also to put your body into an open and receptive manner. And a half smile helps tell your brain that things are not as bad as you think they are. However, a full smile, your brain knows that just full smiles like, I know you're lying to me. So, unless you are feeling really happy, strike a big smile. Inhaling deeply, bringing all that vitality, that oxygen. And then on your exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Make yourself into a little ball. Relax your hip flexors, your hips, inner legs, and groin. Stay in this compression to allow that to release. And then when you're ready, roll up to a seated position. Actually, meet us in tabletop. Spread the fingers wide, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips for swan. Bring the right knee behind the right wrist. If your hips are wider than your shoulders, then bring your knee on the outside of your wrist. Shin is no more than a 45-degree angle. Flex the foot and then relax it. Slide the back leg all the way down. Internally rotate your back leg so that your left kneecap is right on top of the floor. If you look back, your left ankle is right in line with the left hip. So soften, sink the hips down, start to relax, but if you're noticing a big sensation going on in the right hip, then put a block underneath it. So when you're at the right depth, then start to float forward, either putting a block underneath your forehead, or maybe even stacking fists, relaxing your forehead that way. And if you notice that you're lopsiding or leaning to one side, this is common, leaning to the left in this side, then put a block underneath the left part of your abdomen. Making sure that the hips are parallel to the floor. You must be comfortable, so if there's anything uncomfortable, you'll notice tension. Be it tension in the mind, or the muscles actually gripping the bone, in which case, come up, maybe de-intensify the sensation, either heel gets closer underneath the body, or you actually put something underneath you. You can fold a blanket, towel, anything can go underneath, at its perfect height for you today. Relax, breathe, and enjoy. way down to your belly. Fill up your lungs completely. And then exhale all the air completely. You may want to equalize your breath by breathing in for a count of 4. Notice the slight pause. And then exhaling for a count of 4. And notice the slight pause after the exhale. And this is an equalizing breath, equalizing the pH in your blood, balancing the amount of carbon dioxide and oxygen in your blood. If you wanted to become more basic and increase the oxygenation and decrease carbon dioxide, you would extend the exhale. So if you feel like you need a little more stress relief, maybe inhale for 4 and then exhale for a count of 6, or maybe even a count of 8. Exhale all the air out. Inhale, press yourself up. Take away anything underneath your right hip, and then lean over to the side. Swing your left hip around, or your left leg around. Feet wider than hip distance. Switch the knees side to side. If you like, you can put the plant back. I love that plant.
I just don't know if I need it like on my mat.
When I bought him, he was half the size, and apparently the bigger you put him in a bigger pot, he grows bigger. So I did that, and I noticed he doubled in size. So I thought that was cool. Coming back into tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Bring your left knee behind the left wrist. If your hips are wider than your shoulders, then bring the knee onto the outside of the wrist. Shin is no more than a 45-degree angle. Flex the left foot and then slide back. So the right kneecap right on top of the floor, internally rotating your back leg. And then the right ankle is in line with the right hip. Notice the sensations here. Sink the hips down. Relax. Feel how your body sinks down to the earth in its natural depth. And then put something underneath you so your muscles feel safe and supported, and thereby your unconscious mind feels safe and supported. When you're at your perfect depth, then float down. Relax your forehead on something. Make sure that your hips are parallel, you're not leaning to one side. Tune into that breathing technique from the first side. Counting sometimes also helps with meditating, to keep your mind focused on the present moment. I know what my Kundalini guru, when we were discussing mindfulness and meditation, and I discussed how I count, and she's like, "Oh, you're a counter, eh?" So there's definitely a group of us who count our breaths in order to help with meditation. Feel free to do so and enjoy. Exhale all the air out. When you inhale, slowly press yourself up. Take whatever's underneath your left side. And then tilt over to your left, swing your right leg around. Feet wider than hip distance. And then switch the knees side to side in windshield wiper. Know what I just noticed, Zach? We are almost completely, totally in Lululemon gear.
Lulu'd out.
Your outfit, my outfit, my mat.
Oh,
This
yeah.
is not advertising. All the things you notice when you're present. So back into a tabletop. So if you have two blocks, put one underneath each hand, and then the hands spread, fingers wide, hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. If you only have one block, put it under your right hand. That's the most important. Okay, bring your right foot in between the hands, slide the left knee back, sink the hips down. So your right knee, in Yin Dragon, your right knee can actually go over your ankle and it's safe. So relax your hips and legs as much as possible. And suspend yourself up on your hands. Bow your head down and release tension intentionally for the next 9 long, deep breaths. This is probably the most aggravating yin pose, usually, but everybody is different. But that aggravation is good, because if an emotion or thoughts are coming up, they're there for communication, to get the communication, if action is required to do so. But in this case, because it's coming up by a body release, it's your job to accept it and let it go. So with each exhale, you can even say, I accept and let go. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, slowly raise your hips. Bring your right leg back. So feel free to do windshield wiper, or curl the toes under, lift the hips up, and walk your dog. Bend one knee, send the other heel to the floor, and vice versa. And then lower back down. The blocks underneath your hands again. Let's do the other side. Spread the fingers wide, hands underneath the shoulders. Bring the left foot in between the hands, and then slide your right knee back, sink the hips down. We can just hear the cats talking to each other right now. Suspend yourself up on your arms, bow your head down. Relax as much as you can. However, you are still being held up by your legs a little bit, and that's okay. We're not here for that long. 9 more long, deep breaths. I accept and let go on the exhale. Exhale all the air out. On your inhale, slowly de-intensify. Bring your hips up, bring your left leg back, and either swish it out in windshield wiper or curl the toes under, lift the hips up, and walk your dog. And then when you're ready, turn around and relax on your back. So bring the arms out, shoulder height. Pick up your legs. So bend your knees. Right leg over left. Twist like ropes. Bring your right ankle behind your left, or your right foot behind your left ankle. So this is twisted roots or eagle legs. And on your exhale, lower down to the left. So knees over to the left, head over to the right. If your knees are uncomfortable, they're not contacting the floor, you can always put a block of pillow, something underneath them. Head over to the left is if you want the twist to go into your neck, but it doesn't have to. Relax all your muscles. If you notice your right shoulder popping up off the ground, if it's that is perfectly fine. You're just getting a little extra going on in the shoulder. But if it's uncomfortable, then put a block or something to support you underneath your arm or shoulder. There's this exercise, it's a Venus Kriya in Kundalini Yoga, where you have a partner and you meditate, looking at, or basically staring into their eyes, and eventually you see their soul, and then you see that their soul is your soul and that you are the same. It's very amazing. I think that one's either a 31-minute meditation or a 62-minute meditation that I did at a meditation retreat. The upsurgents, if that's a word, have love. Oh my goodness. So Zach, we're gonna have to stare at each other in the eyes for a long period of time. I already do it to the cats. We are one.
First time hearing about that?
Yeah. Right. We are one. But I do need to check the time to... He's the timekeeper. Exhale, all the air out. Inhale, untwist. Unravel the legs. Hug your knees into your chest. Tuck your chin in. That helps to increase the spaces in between your cervical spine, your neck. Releasing tension there. And then, so arm shoulder height. Left leg over right, twist like ropes. Left ankle behind right. And then knees over to the right. If you need anything underneath them, place it there. This timekeeper. And relax and enjoy. Exhale all the air out. Inhale, untwist. Unravel your legs. Hug your knees into your chest and just relax here in a little ball. Oh, if this helps too, flatten your spine out so all the vertebrae are stacked neatly one on top of each other. And then if you tuck your chin in, you're releasing tension in your neck, helping and lengthening your neck. And release into your most favorite Shavasana. So let go of the breathing technique and just breathe naturally and normally. Feet wider than hip distance helps to relax the hips. Arms away from the body, palms up, help to relax the shoulder blades. Another thing that's comfortable for your low back, if there's any pinching in your low back, stack some pillows. This might not even be a high enough pillow, but just to give you an idea, you can put a pillow underneath your knees. That's what I do for my Reiki people, to help them be very comfortable. And say to yourself something helpful, something that brings you joy, just something that helps you feel good. Use that as a positive affirmation, a mantra, as you breathe. So for instance, I breathe in acceptance. I breathe out and let go. Or I breathe in peace. I breathe out and am more relaxed. Or it can be any I am statement, anything positive. Stay here for as many blissful moments as you need to, as you want to. It was a pleasure guiding you in relaxing Yin Yoga. And may you breathe in acceptance and let go of what no longer serves you on your exhale. Have a beautiful evening and week. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.